Alright, so this is my multifaceted media relations plan for Jared Goff of the Los Angeles Rams. This is a player biography. Goff is he's a California native. Played 3 years at Cal Berkeley. Was very successful there. Broke several records, including single-game passing yardage. Also saw the Pac-12 single-season passage yardage record holder. He was a first-team selection in 2015. The Rams made him the first overall selection in the 2016 NFL Draft. A little bit about the Rams. Originally founded in Cleveland in 36, moved to LA in 46. While in LA, they won the 95 NFL Championship. And after moving to St. Louis in 95, they won the 1999 Super Bowl. And in their first season back in LA, the Rams will be playing at the iconic Los Angeles Memorial Stadium. Alright, a little bit about marketing Goff here. Some of his strengths when considering. Goff is walking into a situation where a team is returning to Los Angeles for the first time in 20 years. Over 20 years, actually. Not only that, but the city is a major media hub. And Goff is a California native. He played his college ball in California. And he's a first overall selection. So there's a lot of reasons for people to pay attention to Goff. And on top of that, he kind of has those classic California looks, which helps any athlete. Some of the weaknesses can also be considered strengths. Obviously, with all that attention, being where he's from, where he's selected, the team he's playing for, he's going to be under high scrutiny. Again, media circus. It's a big market, which is good. It can also be bad. There are 7 other professional teams in the city. There's several big collegiate programs as well, and it's Hollywood, so there's a lot to contend with. Another one of his weaknesses, it can be potentially his lanky frame. He's tall, he's 6'4", but he's, I think, 215, so it could help him to bulk up a little bit in terms of on-the-field weaknesses. More on that, he's been questionable in the pocket. Maybe I know he's been credited with having happy feet in the pocket and can sometimes get nervous. He's also coming from a system in Cal where he wasn't throwing the long ball too much. So there may be some kind of transition for him coming to the NFL game. His arm has been questioned a bit. And off the field again, he kind of lacks charisma. And being in LA, could be a weakness. Alright, some of the opportunities Goff has presented. Being in LA, as cosmopolitan as it is, and everything, he'll have every opportunity to sort of, get out in the city and take on, different social events and fulfill his interests and whatnot, and then use that to build a brand. So he has an interest in fashion, and he'll have every opportunity to sort of scratch that itch while also building a brand. Being right there in California with Hollywood right there, he'll have the opportunity to maybe turn a modeling career into a film career. And obviously his California roots are going to afford him opportunities that other players will not have. He could be looked upon as a positive role model for California kids. And some of the threats for Goff, first and foremost, I think the tabloids they're dangerous. He's gonna have to watch out what he does. Also, again, threat to him is the attention or lack thereof that he could possibly get. contending with Hollywood itself. Again, many sports teams in the area. And back to on the field, it's a threat to his brand and to his building celebrity can be affected by tough start. He's a first overall pick in a new and a team that's returning to his city. So a tough start could really put a damper on his breaking into the league. And also, there's transitioning from college to NFL is tougher, especially quarterbacks. Some guys can't cut it, and that could definitely be a threat for Goff as well. Here are some strategic considerations. Obviously, we know that Goff is in a media market, and it's important to note that they have both strengths and weaknesses. That presents strengths and weaknesses. It's also important that Goff worry about his performance on the field before anything else. If he is unsuccessful, it's going to be even more difficult to build his brand. Once he establishes himself in the field, then he can sort of open up a little bit in the city. So he has to pace himself. And finally, his California roots are key. Being in California, having certain opportunities, it's going to be very big. And one day when he kind of gets past the opening stages, he can work on making his brand a little bit more mainstream and attractive to others. But right now, it's important to concentrate on California, Southern California, and Los Angeles. A couple of communications objectives. I think it's important that Goff, being a rookie with so much pressure, that he's well versed in effective media relations techniques. It's the last thing you need for a player with the hype around Goff is a PR disaster. It's also important for Goff to infiltrate local communities and trying to have a positive effect on the youth. I think that's important to kind of build a wholesome image. It's also important for him to kind of, put together this whole idea that he's successful on the field and he comes to California and he's from the area. It's kind of important for him to promote the whole California thing. And eventually, I think being in Los Angeles and having so many opportunities, it's going to be important for him, if he really wants to grow his brand, to kind of get into show business a little bit. I think the first step is probably modeling of some sort, and then kind of, if he works on his charisma, I think from there it's kind of natural to make the next step into film or television, etc. And I think it's important for him to, despite how popular he gets and how big he gets, to maintain his California kid image and to remain a positive role model and a wholesome role model. Now here's some recommendations to try to reach the goals for Goff. I think it's important. That he has full PR training. Again, thwarting any media issues is going to be very important. I think that he should definitely take on some public speaking courses or techniques. It's important for him to work on his charisma, being in a city as vibrant as Los Angeles, and maybe further down the line, but getting him some type of acting classes would help that as well. Additionally, I think Goff needs to bulk up. I think he's a little lanky, and not only will that help him on the field, it could help him off the field in terms of modeling. And being in Los Angeles, it would probably help if he had some famous friends. It would do good for him in terms of exposure, and it's just good to meet people in the city to make some connections. Now this is the signature community event that we have decided on. It's called the California Kids Football Clinic. It's a tour. Goff and two of his teammates, who are also California natives, visit 8 LA schools over 4 weekends. They'll speak to children aged 5 to 14 about the importance of school. and then from there will be a football skills clinic. Now, the point of this is so Goff can kind of assimilate into community. Although he is from California, he's from the Bay Area, but it's important that he kind of gets his nose into the youth communities. It's good because it plants a seed with the young ones, and it also resonates with parents as well. And again, he is from the Bay Area, but he is a Californian, and that's important, and that I think could help. It kind of gives kids from California, they see him, that he is from California and he progressed and he's a professional football player. I think that's important. That will help him a lot. And here are 10 media contacts throughout the LA area, some Rams reporters, some sports reporters, and some entertainment reporters as well.